Hello and welcome back to the Creative Business Innovation Podcast. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that you've joined us here on another Friday to talk about creativity, business, and innovation. Today, guys, I want to talk to you guys about value, specifically male value, and what that looks like. How does that feel? What is it? And I feel like there's society's view of what a male's value is, and then there's, specific views. It's very hard to quantify something's value without using multiple different perspectives. Something's value is going to be different to everybody because everybody values different things. Like, for example, if somebody values strength or valor, they may see somebody like a man who's strong and very brave as the highest value. But these things change based on the person. So I guess if we're looking at society is going to value you based on your usefulness. They're going to value you based on what you can provide, based on what you can give. And that's really just not going to change. And nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to give you the tools in order to provide something. And the moment you can't provide something, you're useless. You're worthless, by society standards because, you don't have anything to give, right? This is your job. Your job is to give something, whether that be your time, whether that be your financial resources, your emotional availability, your mental prowess, what you've learned. You have to provide something. That is your duty. So that's kind of what society expects from you. And I guess a lot of the times when they're looking at you to provide something, usually it has to do with your status as well, because it's not just about being able to provide monetarily. It's also about being able to provide respect. And the reason that somebody asks you, what do you do for a living, is because they're evaluating how much respect they're going to give you in that conversation. So it's very important that you do something that gives that respect. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter. Even if the thing that you're doing pays well, if it doesn't garner respect when said in a group environment, then it's not high value, right? So this is the whole argument online. Like, I know you've seen a lot of different arguments. Oh, what makes a high value man? Well, it's very subjective. Nobody can say definitively exactly what that is because, like I said earlier, value is going to change based on the perspective of the individual that's talking about the value. So it's going to be different for everybody. But the basis in society is the thing you have to do not only has to provide monetarily, but it also has to provide you with a certain amount of respect, and it also has to provide you with a certain amount of knowledge, because the knowledge in and of itself is another thing that quantifies value. So if you're not knowledgeable, if people feel like you're stupid, then they don't respect you, which then lowers your market value. And I kind of find in society, the way that we value men is the same way we value houses. It's like what the market decides the value is what it is. Even though the house is still providing certain things, like the house still runs, like there's still AC, there could be electricity, there could be working water. But if the market deems that home as less valuable, then that's what it is. Even if the intrinsic value or, the things that are provided are similar, if the market doesn't agree that this is what we would pay or this is how much we would place on this object, if they don't agree with that, then that's not what it is. So even if you feel like your home is worth $900,000, if the market deems the home to be worth 700 or 600, that's what it is. That's what you're going to get. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Being a man is the same thing. It's like you have to tailor yourself to what society thinks is valuable, and you really don't have a say in the matter. Like, you can choose differently and you could succeed, because remember, success is also a personal thing. Like, if I feel like I'm successful because it's my reality, right? It's my world that I'm generating. I'm creating it as I live. But if you want other people to also see it that way, then there's an aspect or there's a level to which you have to bend or you have to curve to society's perceived market value if you want to be able to sell yourself. Now we're talking about garnering a mate, right? You're a man, right? So if you want to sell yourself, if you want to look valuable to the market, which is people who are looking at you as, a potential mate, they're going to be like, okay, well, we think market value is this. Maybe like using real estate terminology again, maybe we prefer a good location in the middle of, everything. Maybe we prefer a location where there's schools and there's playgrounds and there's all these different things. Somebody else might say, oh, we prefer a rural location. But the thing is, whatever you're trying to achieve has to be tailor-made to those individuals that have a certain perceived market value. And then you have to take that perceived market value and you have to emulate that if you want to be seen as valuable. And then the question garners, how much do you care about the opinions of other people? Like, because there's also that, right? That comes into play. Like, are you going to now tailor everything that you do, all your actions, all your decisions, everything that you are to appease other people? So then it's like, well, obviously there has to be a certain aspect of that because, even dating back to the ancient times with humans, you had to fit in. If you didn't fit in back then, they would cast you out. You would be exiled or executed. And I mean, being exiled was almost the same thing as being executed because it's difficult to live in the wild on your own. So deep in our DNA, we're already predisposed to tailoring our behavior so that the herd or whatever our pack is accepts us. And, this dangerous ideas, freedom, these concepts, if they start to ruffle feathers, if you start to behave in a way that's outside of the norm or outside of that market value, then you're no longer valuable. And guess what happens to things that are no longer valuable with human beings? I mean, if I have a bottle of water, it's valuable to me because there's water. But the moment I've drank all the water and there's no water, the bottle in and of itself is no longer valuable. So what do? I throw it out, right? It's no longer valuable to me. So I don't see the purpose of having it there. So it's important for men to understand that, yes, you need to have a good career. Yes, you need to have some form of monetary success. Yes, you should be looking to learn, to grow, to expand your mind. Yes, you should work on your physical body as well because you want to be healthy, because health is also another way that we quantify value. I mean, but it's unfair. Like, it really is unfair. It's horrible, but so is the market. Like, so is real estate. If you look at real estate, sometimes there's a home that really is worth $900,000, but you can only get $600,000 because that's what the market says. And that's it. That's all you can do. So I guess my advice to anybody out there, is make sure that you're looking around, make sure you're being observant, and make sure you're intuitive in your decision making and you make the right call for you, because that's going to look different for everybody. But I know you'll make the right decision. I'm trying to make the right decisions myself. It's not easy. It's an ongoing process. It's going to take a lot of reflection. It's going to take a lot of thought, deep in thought. I mean, maybe if you want to journal, if you want to do something to get your thoughts out, do something to try to organize yourself and align yourself in the way that you think you should go. It's going to take some self-reflection, but I believe that you're going to be able to do it. And I believe that I'm going to make it through. Let's just keep pushing and eventually we'll get there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. This has been the Creative Business Innovation Podcast. I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful that you've joined us on another Friday. I'll see you next time.